Welcome back for video number 5. We're going to be looking at the render environment. We're going to look how we can make this look more realistic. So for this we are going to go into design up at the top here, and this drops down and we can go to render. Once we're in the render environment, you'll notice this changes in the way it looks a little bit. We lose some of the lines. You may also, when you go into this, you may have this bottom bar open. I suggest dropping it down, give you a little bit more screen space. If you're currently working with this in a window and you've got this video running next to it, I might advise that you watch this and you flick between screens. You want a little bit more space for this. You're going to want to go to this color wheel here and press appearance, and you'll get a little drop down box. Now your drop down box, when it first comes up for the first time, might be a tad small. It might look something like this. What I advise you do is you hover over the close button and then just come down slowly to the corner until you get these arrows up. It's very frustrating, but if you come in from the Fusion side of it, or the screen side, you don't get those arrows up until you hit the close button and then go back. You want to make this box nice and big, not too wide, but definitely nice and long. And you'll see that I'm starting to get some options up here that you may not have up yet. You'll probably get a list more like this. And there's a little button here that says show downloadable material. Now it might be a good idea to click that on so you can download some additional textures. We're going to want to make sure that we've got this selected at the top, bodies and components. We don't want faces. Faces will just do the side that you select, but we want to do the whole piece. Now the first thing we're going to want to do is go down to wood, the top one, and we're going to click bamboo light semi-gloss. I'm going to click and hold this, and you can see I can drag this over the top of different parts, and I can make one part change color. But I'm going to make the whole product out of wood pretty much. So I'm actually going to go to my list over here, and then I'm just going to go to bodies, and this will do all of them. And I can either remove that one that I already colored, or I can keep it. Now I'm going to press remove. It doesn't really matter. So now everything is that one solid color. Now to add a little bit of flair to this, I'm going to put some stripes in it. And the way I'm going to put some stripes in it is I'm going to add some acrylic. So I'm going to go to plastic, I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to go to the opaque option, and I'm going to pick one of these opaque colors here. Now there's quite a good range of colors, not every single color. I don't think I've seen pink, and I don't think I've seen purple. I'm going to go for blue anyway, and I'm gonna drag and drop it directly onto the piece I want to show you that that's possible, and then I'm going to drag and drop it over onto the list of different body parts here, and I'm not going to do the one right next to it. I'm going to leave a gap. Yeah, like that, and then I'm going to do another one there. Again, if you make a mistake, you can go into InDesign and you can just hover over something and color back over it again, and there we go. So now you can see that I've got a nice stripe that runs all the way around, and I've got a couple of rings there in the pot of those different colors. So this already looks quite nice. When you drop out of the render mode, it will keep these different colors, but you'll get a much more basic view of this. So let's go back into render there. Now if we want to take a really nice screenshot, we want to put in our work, we want this to look fantastic, then what we're going to want to do is perform a render. To do this, you can use an in-canvas render, and you can set the options for that here. Apart from this is quite slow and you can't do anything on your computer whilst it's doing this. When we press in-canvas render, everything will go very pixely, and this little blue bar will go up, and it will probably go up a little bit slower than my blue bar is going up. And there's this little triangle here as well that yours will be set to excellent, and you actually want it on final. You don't want to slide it into infinite, it will never end. And when that blue bar fills and hits this triangle here, the render will stop, and you can either capture an image by pressing capture image, or you can take just a screenshot of the screen. That's an okay way of doing things, but it's not great. As this blue bar goes up as well, I just want to point out you can see the reflections of the light on the acrylic parts here, so it's trying to make this look as realistic as possible. So we're going to actually drop out of this, so I'm going to press the pause button first and then come up here and press the stop button to cancel that. I'm going to do an out of canvas render, which is using the T part here. So I'm going to press on here, and the first thing you're going to notice maybe is it says 1 credit required or 1 credits required. Don't worry about this. What we're going to do is we're going to change it here from cloud render to local render, and what this means is that we don't have to pay any credits or anything silly. And then we want render quality, obviously we want final, but something that I want to encourage is that you press this button here, which is for a transparent background as well. And another thing you can do is for image size, you can set this a bit higher. This is how many pixels by how many pixels it's going to render. The more pixels you choose, the longer the render will take. I quite like just going for the maximum, which I think is 1080p. It's probably a little bit overkill. You could probably get away with 720 or 480, but let's go for 1080p and we'll give that a go. Transparent background, and I'm going to click render. Now what that's going to do is that bottom bar that we hid earlier, it's going to go into here and it's going to start to render that in the background, and your computer's going to work very hard to do that for you, and this green bar is going to slowly come up, and when that's done it should end up over here. And this is something I haven't mentioned before, your save files, this 3x3 box, this is where all your save files go, and this will actually go in here next to the actual saved project, and you'll be able to see there your render. So mine's ready rather quickly, which is nice, making good use of my graphics card, and we'll be able to have a look at what that looks like maybe. There are a lot of settings in this environment. You can change the angle to whatever angle that you like. We can zoom in and out. There is also much more than that. There are different scene settings. If we click scene settings, you can change the brightness. We can change the background to be an environment, so it looks like it's in a desert. These are under the environment library here. There are all sorts of crazy different ones that you can do. So we can try and make this look like it's on the road in the desert if we wanted to. But generally speaking, I quite like a plain background. So there's quite a lot of settings in here that we can mess around with. Some of the better ones are actually the light settings, because they give you different shadows and different lighting effects. You can see even without this being rendered, I'm getting a shine off of certain surfaces, which if done right can look really nice. So enough of that. My render's finished, so I can click on this, I'll go to my render gallery, and hopefully we'll have our nice picture and it'll be fully rendered and look really nice. I can press the download button and I can save this onto my computer. So probably want to save this as something a little less confusing than that. I'm just pencil holder 2, make sure it's somewhere I can find it nice and easy in my documents, and I'm going to press save. Now at this point here, what I would like you to do is take yourself a nice screenshot of this and also use this image here, and we'll put that in our work later. And don't forget to press the save button and press OK, and I'll see you in video number 6, which is exporting our sketches ready to be laser cut.